Hey guys, what's up? It is Random Man here, and yeah, that's here. Cyclonus. The figure I tried to comedically not review during season 1, and yeah. Originally, I was going to just review the summer haul figures I got, but then something happened. Basically, on just like last Monday, my girlfriend had to go into hiding and in a way kind of broke up with me. So basically, in honor of her and in honor of how cool she has been through these years I've been with her, I'm going to be reviewing all the figures that she got me. And the thing about the two of us is that we were both really big nerds. And we were both really into Lego. That was like our big mutual collection. She was big on The Walking Dead, so I would get her stuff for her collection. She would get me Transformers for my Transformers collection. So it's basically just like, it's almost like we got ourselves our own figures by just weirdness. And that's basically how to explain it. We were huge nerds. It was very weird. Um, So yeah, so in honor of her, I'm going to be reviewing all the figures that she got me, and that's going to include both Transformers and Lego. So first off, I'm starting with Cyclonus. This is the first thing she got me, and this has been my favorite figure since. And it, it's to the point where, yes, it's my favorite figure because it's the first one she ever got me. It was really nice of her to do that. But it's also a really good figure just in and of itself. And to top it all off, Cyclonus is actually one of my favorite characters in the IDW comics and Generation 1. This is the character I never thought was boring in Generation 1, especially since he translated through 2 chapters of the original show, which were Season 3 of The Transformers and Headmasters. He was in that as well. So this is a really nice character, and again, she was really nice to have gotten me this figure. Um, Basically, she got me this. I got her the long-awaited Rick Grimes Walking Dead figure that she had been really searching for a long time, and I've been searching for this guy for a while. So yeah, we both got each other our own holy grails. And I have already reviewed Nightstick, so he's basically just going to be the accessory in this video. And yes, I do have Cyclonus holding the great sword with the repro labels that I got from Brandon. This is the same great sword that I got with the drift figure he sent me. So, and since again I'm a really big fan of his IDW character, currently on board the Lost Light, I do usually have him holding the great sword. But I'm just gonna have that in the background, concerning it's not really part of how you get the figure unless of course you buy it, especially on eBay. So yeah, first off, it is Cyclonus, and I am going to cut to the intro now. So, Cyclonus. Um, I do find it kind of comedic that he was the figure that I refused to review during Season 1 of my review series, and he is the second episode of Season 2. Um, yeah, this is really funny. I don't remember when I reviewed Nightstick. If I did, I don't know. If things had gone normal as, I had planned, I probably would have done this as a surprise review. Basically the same episode I reviewed Nightstick. I don't know if he was episode 2. If he was, that was dumb luck. Um, if not, then I'm reviewing Cyclonus anyways, so yeah. So right now I'm just going to take off Nightstick, and he's going to be left in gun mode through the entire review. And again, the focus is going to be on Cyclonus. Um, this was actually part of the Universe 2.0 25th anniversary line, and yeah, he came with Nightstick the Target Master. Drift came with the Great Sword, which came in the later, or actually no, it came in the prior generations line. Reveal the wait, sorry, no, I'm getting this mixed up. Drift came in later with, the generations line. This is part of the universe, which was the first U in the acronym CHUG. If you don't know what CHUG means, CHUG is basically the G1 reboot classics. Basically, it's the IDW translation figures. Now, we know that a lot of the figures are now really heavily based on IDW. Drift was basically the first straight up IDW character that Hasbro had done, and it was in Generations 1.0, and now we're on Generations 2.0, which was Fall of Cybertron and the IDW collection. But yes, CHUG stands for Classics Henkei Universe United Generations. The thing is, Reveal the Shield and the sublines of Generations are not on the list. So, yeah, Reveal the Shield's not there. Hunt for the Decepticons is not there because that was actually kind of a mashup, and sort of a crossover between the Chug line and the movie line. One of the biggest things you could tell, it's like this is kind of a spin-off from Chug, is that you see IDW Lockdown is one of the figures, and yes, it is IDW Lockdown. I actually recently looked at his design and then looked at the figure. I'm just like, hey, that's straight up IDW Lockdown. That could easily be reissued if reissues were done. So yeah, and of course Cyclonus came in the universe. This was Universe 2.0, so it could technically be the second U. You'd probably have to add in a third U for United, because that does count on the Chug line. But yes, this is Cyclonus, and I'm just going to say this. This might not be an accurate paint scheme to how he was depicted in either in IDW and G1. I do like that he has the gray horns. He does have those in IDW. But this is this is pretty much an original color scheme. We usually know Cyclonus as being the dark bluish purple or the straight up sort of Decepticon purple that he normally is. But no, this one is a mix of very dark purple, sort of a brownish colored plastic mixed in with some other gray plastic, and again more brownish. This is straight up brown, but this is more like brown tinted plastic. So yeah, this is really nice on the detail. Like all the different little molded in details. You can see little vents going on. You can see his bicep little area right up here. You can see a whole bunch of detail going on the elbow and lower bicep, and then on the arm. The arm is just fantastic. It does have the gap thing because it does have the whole hands fold in to become the thrusters in jet mode, and of course they do have the connection peg on both arms for Nightstick. So yeah, I did hold on. I sneezed on camera. How unprofessional was that? But yes, I did. I believe I did mention that this little tab on the end of Nightstick was to go into Cyclonus' hand, and as you saw originally, he can do that. He can do it on both hands. I just like to do it on this hand so that way I can keep his 5mm open hand, open, so I can have him holding his greatsword if I ever want him to have both. And again, Nightstick also has the 5mm peg that can fit into his hand or on his back for storage, in case you don't want him having a gun and you just want him to have a sword if you have the drift figure. Or if you got that other sword from, I think, Make Toys Battle Tanker. I think that's where it was from. I do kind of want a second one of that so I can have both Cyclonus and Drift holding great swords. And I know that they never really did hold great swords in the same comic, because I think by the time that these guys, the Lost Lighters, met the Circle of Light again, or straight up, when they met the Circle of Light and Cyclonus got his great sword, Drift had already gone. So, yeah, but I don't care, because I like having both Drift and Cyclonus in my Lost Light crew, and both of them having great swords. And I have an obsession with swords, because I just find that swords are the most honorable weapon. But yes, really, really good molding and detail. I like the integration with Nightstick here. I just love that Nightstick got a figure as well. Like, I think TJ Omega summed this up perfectly. There was not a fanboy with clean underwear the day that these two were announced in the Universe 2.0 25th anniversary line. So yeah, moving to articulation, there is one little kind of a flaw. Really, I really don't know how to explain it. It's just something that you really can't miss, but yet you really overlook. Strangely, because this is, it's this guy, and I'm just gonna say this: no back kibble. There is absolutely no kibble on this guy. Anything that you say is like kibble, it's like, oh well, his wings are right here. He has those. Oh well, these stabilizers are here. He has those. There is not a single bit of kibble here. In fact, again, there's just like less plastic than there usually is. And that's not saying anything bad about the figure. There's just absolutely no kibble. But yes, on articulation, his head can do the full 360-degree exorcist twist. Thank you, Vote Saxon, for giving me that sort of term. His arms can rotate 360 and are not hindered at all by the wings because, again, no backpack, no kibble. His arms go out that much. It does look a bit strange because the hinge is right below the shoulder. You can, however, make it go out around that much because there is another joint inside and you can alter that. Oh, yeah, that's loose on my figure. Like, the little clasps are a little bit loose. They're manageable. Like, they don't, like, just pop off randomly. But if you do, like, just put too much force on them, they will pop off. But yes, due to the transformation, you can alter this arm position. So if you don't want him to look a little bit awkward like that, you can just pop it forward and have him not as articulate because his arms can't go out all the way, but it's actually pretty good. Um, he does have a nice 90-degree, well, actually it looks a little bit less than 90-degree, but he does have a nice elbow joint. Right here, he does have kind of a wrist swivel. It's right below the elbow, so it's a below the elbow swivel. And his wrists do pivot. That is mainly due for transformation and the gimmick, which again is a really fine gimmick. But I do believe, I just feel that it's a nice gimmick to have, seeing as he also holds the great sword. Again, it does not come with the figure, but again, it's just really cool. I'm saying again a lot, aren't I? Yes, I just find this is a really nice touch to have when he's holding a great sword, because you do sometimes pivot your arms like that when you are holding a sword. And I should know, because I am a swordsman. I do like swords. I don't have it in this room, but I actually do have a bronze medal from my local dojo. They held a tournament, and I got the bronze medal for swordsmanship, and that tournament was held for all of California. So, yeah, I have the bronze medal swordsmanship in California. I wouldn't say United States because I'm pretty sure there are a lot more that have a lot more skill. But yes, I have the bronze medal, which is not too terrible. Anyway, I'm just rambling. So yes, you probably would have noticed by now, no bicep swivel. There is absolutely no bicep swivel. There are ways. Again, okay, this popped off. I shouldn't say popped off. It more like unclasped. This one is a little bit more tighter. You can see I'm pulling it, and it's not. Oh, it just came off. Somehow I knew that would happen. But anyway, there are ways to get around not having a bicep swivel. But other than that, it is pretty much a little bit of a disappointment not to have it. But again, this is just such a nice looking figure, and all the other articulation is done well that you really don't mind not having a bicep swivel because again, there are workarounds. But yes, no waist swivel. Um, I can see how that could not have been worked in there due to the transformation because these pieces do sort of hinge up to the waist. See, I can see where a waist swivel could not be engineered unless of course these were raised higher. But hey, I'm not a toy engineer. I don't know all the consequences. He does have ball jointed thighs, so they can go forward that much, back that much. They can go pretty much. He can do a full side thrust kick. He does have a thigh swivel and a nice knee joint. It's not, again, it's like the arms, it's not a full 90 degrees, but it is actually a nice little bit of motion. And due to transformation, he has heel and toe pivots. And those, I know a lot of people think, oh, that's kind of useless. For people like me who like to pose their figures a lot in some really dynamic poses, those heel and toe pivots help with balance and stability a lot. Um, so yeah, sometimes if he's doing a dynamic pose, you could easily just like flip this down, and he can stand, and you can get the whole. It looks like my foot has been tilted. So yeah, you do get kind of a foot tilt action going there. It can substitute one. Um, yeah, again, it's missing one big part of articulation, but the rest is actually really nicely done. Um, so yeah, the robot mode is again just really, really good. I am gushing over this figure just like I did with Ultra Magnus. Um, so yeah, the articulation, it's pretty basic. It gets his uses in. The design on the robot mode is just fantastic. I love his very grumpy face. Like, I don't know if you can see that properly. He has a very grumpy face. And you do see he has nice light piping. That is really nice. And I don't know how well my camera's picking this up, but it's almost like a toy Easter egg. I'm gonna try and block it out. Or maybe if I do the light. Nope. Oh, wait. I caught it. There it is. You can notice it's very faint, but on the horn there is on this horn there is a cracked motion going in. And I'm going to say this, the horn is not damaged at all. It's basically just the plastic. And I found that to be hilarious because in IDW, this is the same horn, or this one is the same horn that gets broken off. And that tailgate ends up like making a new one. So yeah, I just found that really funny. I don't know if that's with everyone else's. If it was, that was a really nice Easter egg. If not, I found that really freaking hilarious. So now on to transformation into the Cybertronian jet mode. Now, what you want to do first, and this is a really nice part of engineering, you want to split his legs open, almost as if you ran a blade down his soul. And not the soul as in your mentality, your morality, your the thing that Galvatron has not soul. This is the soul as in your foot, as in your shoe. But yes, you want to split his leg in half, and you see that there are hinges inside the leg or in the shin in the back of the calf, and nearby the knee. And basically what you do is you want to straighten out the leg if he was posed in any way, and you want to just raise this up, and that will basically, this square section right here will fit in this little gape in his cyber diaper, if you will. I don't know that. It's a new term. It's a thing. So yeah, and this one will just fit up here, and then this will click into place a little bit. And then what you want to do is you want to just bring the feet down. I did mention that those were mainly for articulation, but yes, it is, or they were mainly part of the transformation, but they do function as articulation. And basically, this will form kind of the main thrusters to the vehicle mode. And you want to just do the same on this leg, just split it in half, and then put the shin part up, put the calf up, clip that into place, clip the feet down, make sure they're nice and symmetrical. See, that looks good. Then now what you want to do is you want to untab these parts, which are the shoulder connections, and next just want to take his head and rotate it around like an owl, and then take this piece, lower it down. That will kind of mess up the legs if you don't do it correctly. So yes, this back piece will lower down, and this is why he has no kibble, because it all folds inside of him. This is another reason why I can see why there's no waist joint. So now you just want to grab this and bring it out, and then out like that, and then just put this back up. You can see that you only see the little gem inside of his head. And then just do this now while you have the chance. Just grab this and pull it out. You see that there is kind of a switch for the nose cone. I prefer to just use that as the transformation back to robot mode, but I usually pull it out for to transformation to vehicle mode. And then here comes the arms, which is a pretty badass piece of engineering. What you want to do first is you want to rotate the hands in, and again, this also works for the gimmick. I am mentioning that again. And then just take the wings on his back and just flip them out. Just keep them there for now. And then take the arm and just collapse that in, as I mentioned earlier, with the whole outward movement thing. And then you'll see there's a little slot right here and a tab up here on the wing. So there's a slot, and that will just tab in there. Again, there is a slot here and a tab here, and those will tab in together, and that will basically secure the sort of back stabilizers and rear thrusters. So you basically has 4 thrusters, and now what you want to do is you want to just rotate this piece around, rotate the arm around, and then there's a tab right here on the arm, and that'll tab into this tab that was on the calf piece, and that will basically make up that part of the jet, basically the main wing. And then same thing on this side. Move out the wing, collapse the arm in, make sure everything's oriented properly. Tab the wing into place, rotate the hand in, then just swivel this around and tab the arm into the calf. And then there is Cyclonus in his Cybertronian jet mode. And it is a really nice Cybertronian jet mode. It looks really accurate to how it was in G1. You do get a little bit of sort of weirdness in the back with this little sort of, you can see it's a little bit gappy back here, but come on, when you're staring at a jet, you're staring at it like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. So yeah, really nice. He does have the molded in guns on the front, so he can have his normal blasters. And then of course he has, you know, the port on top, which was now originally his back, and Nightstick can peg up there like he did in um I think it was the Awakening, which was the sort of I don't know, it was sort of the segue from the Transformers 2 Headmasters, um and he has landing gear. So this part just flips out, and then inside the legs there are these little black pieces. You just want to get your nail in there and just flip them out. And if you don't really have nails, these will make nails for you. You just jam your finger in there where the nail would line up, and your nails will just separate from your skin, and you will have nails that are very, very short. So yes, he does have landing gear. It's Cybertronian. Usually Cybertronian things don't have landing gear, but I digress. Um, so yeah, Cyclonus has landing gear. A Cybertronian has Earth attachments. So yes, jet mode, really nice looking. Again, you can see where that new original color scheme is going in. You can see the nice gray connection pieces right here between the thrusters. And then these nice, and the gray plastic is bright and shiny, so it does look like almost like polished metal. Excuse my Facebook for just doing that right there. And you do see the brown. My camera's picking up as red almost, but you do see the brown going along the wings. I'm pretty sure it's the same brown from under here on the kneecaps, or on his, yeah, those are his kneecaps, and on his pecs, his his pecs. Oh, and I'm just going to touch on this once. Yeah, he does not have his Decepticon logo. I basically removed this. I scratched it off because I like IDW Cyclonus, and he's not really a Decepticon. He's a pseudo Decepticon, as I heard him called in one of the issues. I believe it was issue 31. He was called a pseudo Decepticon after defending Megatron. So yes, I scratched that off. If anything, I might put an Autobot logo on Cyclonus. I'm just waiting for the day they finally make him an Autobot in IDW. I know he's like a official member of the crew, but he's still not an Autobot, whereas everyone else is pretty much an Autobot. So yes, there is Cyclonus. He is fantastic. I know that this was not, they didn't know about, making Drift ahead of time of Universe 2.0, but it would have been nice if there was some way you could store the Great Sword in this vehicle mode. As far as I can gather, you could probably find some way to wedge it in between his legs. Interpret that as a joke if you want, and shut up, Facebook! So yes, there is Cyclonus, and this is a fantastic figure, and again, it was really just really nice of my girlfriend, Kat, to get me this figure. So yes, I miss her so much. Yes. Anyway, before I start choking up about Kathy, this has been Random and the Awesome. That was Cyclonus, and I leave you now saying, keep calm and be dramatic. Goodbye.